Michael Cirillo, what is the first word that comes to your mind right now? Go.
Toto.
This is Auto Collabs.
The band or the dog?
The band.
Why?
Because our guest today is
What? It's
Susanna.
a guest relevant thought. That's amazing.
Whoa.
Okay.
And I couldn't stop through seeing the calendar invite and seeing her name Susanna. I couldn't stop singing the song Rosanna. And Rosanna is a song by Toto, and she works at Automotive Mastermind, right? And they're all big on data. And now all I'm singing is, all I want to do when I wake up in the morning is analyze your data, right?
Wow.
But it's not Susanna, it's Rosanna.
Dude,
and
I
you asked
love
me
the way
first
you're-
word, and it's Toto.
You would almost think that that was in any way pre-rehearsed, and it was not. I can vouch for it.
No.
Literally,
I
we hit
actually
record,
have-
and I asked Michael that question.
Where I was gonna go.
Like I am speechless right now. This is that was unbelievable. There is no other way that we can possibly continue this intro without just going, we
Just go.
really hope that you enjoy this interview that Cirillo just nailed the setup.
Susanna. That's an epic song, by the way.
It's a great song.
Susanna, it is such a pleasure to have you with us today. Welcome to Auto Collabs.
Gosh, thank you so much for the invite. I appreciate it.
All right. So always want to give a little background, especially to someone who's kind of new for our content community, right? Which is one of the things that we love. It's like the lifeblood of ASOTU is new faces, new opinions, new histories. Tell us about how you got into the auto industry.
Well, just like everybody else, you had a plan A and the plan A didn't work, right? So I haven't met anybody in my life where the auto industry has been the plan A. And
Maybe if you're like the next generation of a dealer, that's about it.
You gotta go meet some of these Northwood students. They're like pumped. They're in.
Listen, I'm in. I mean, my bachelor's degree came from Liberty University, and it's an automotive dealership degree. Specifically, it's a business degree in automotive dealership. And that was with Hendrix. So that was the only time that it really opened my eyes that it could be a plan A, even though I believe it should be. So counting my gray hairs, I believe it's close to 20 years now in the auto industry. Started on the retail side. You sell your soul to the devil a little bit. And what really made me want to leave retail was mostly I was missing choir practice on Thursday nights. And my mother-in-law was the organist, the pianist for the church. And I was the choir director. So the conversations on Sundays, weren't always that great when you're missing choir practice and you're leading the choir. So that really...
That's the best why I left retail. It's not like, well, the hours were getting a little long, or, I really had a vision. It's like mother-in-law on Sunday was wearing...
Throwing shade on Sunday mornings, right?
Just showing up for Sunday dinner, and she just look at you walk through the door.
Yeah, like, pass the potatoes, please.
Now sing it. She goes, now sing it. Pass the potatoes.
So transition into an opportunity that was open with Cox Automotive. So it was with Mannheim Auto Auctions. And gosh, this is probably 2012 range, something like that. So I'm very smart most of the time. And this is my business. Once I decided that I was it changed my life. And it's so easy for it to change others, right? So this is the only business that I'm aware of currently, maybe a real estate agent, but you don't have to be a slave to somebody else's possibilities. You're not dictating my paycheck. What? Right? So transition into Cox Automotive, I wanted to stay in this business. So, the industry, this is my career, been here, I'm going to die here. I don't think I could ever leave to do anything different. Like the conflict is fun. So Cox Automotive had a position in my backyard with Mannheim Auto Auctions. Love used cars. 15 years old, I was at Bel Air Auto Auction buying my first car before I had a driver's license. So loving it, right?
Wait. Stop. Because, okay, you said at the beginning of this that you accidentally got in auto. You never dreamed of being in auto, but at 15, what prompted you at 15 years of age to be buying a car at an auto auction? Why did that happen?
When you were,
because I feel like we're missing a whole portion. You're trying to get to why you're at Mannheim. I'm
when
missing
you're
something
looking
here.
upon getting a driver's license, and then you look at the bicycle, and then you think of the possibilities of a driver's license, and then you look back at the bicycle. I'm just saying, most everybody probably would have the inclination to go buy something.
It's fair.
My budget was around $500, so
Back to the bicycle, right?
I mean, that's kind of how it started. Gosh, yeah. So there's that. So Manheim Auto Auctions. Kind of the funniest thing there. I'm sure there's Cox Automotive people, so like don't tell anybody. HR might not be a thing anymore, but on the application to make it past the screening process to actually get the interview. Like I knew I could do the job, but to get the interview, you had to have an associate's degree, and at the time I didn't. So I may have flubbed a little on that resume just to say that I had something that I didn't. Like it's the car business, right? Like, we all bring a little something extra to the table. That was my extra.
Well, I didn't realize this was a tell-all podcast, but we'll take it. Ratings are about to go up. What else? Tell us the other things that you flubbed.
So that was the biggest fun. I mean, I've made up for it since. That's my master's degree on the wall, so I've made up for it. Like we're all.
Or is it?
There you go.
I can print one of those too.
Oh my goodness, unbelievable.
Fast forward, like Automotive Mastermind, I was literally at the last stage of the interview. So this is 4, 5, 6 interviews later. I can't remember. And one of the questions was, tell me something that you may regret, like, or something that you did that maybe was untoward. And I was like, oh, Jesus, here we go. All right, well, I lied. So that's kind of how I started. I said, so technically I lied. I got the job, but I lied. Fixed my lie. We're all better. We're back.
Nice.
So
redemption on the next
I mean, my real
round.
question is, did you have an associate's degree when you got your bachelor's degree? And did you have a bachelor's degree when you got your master's degree? Okay.
Yeah.
Just for the father.
I had it all. International Business Management, Automotive Dealership Management, MBA. Boom.
Made up for it in
And
spades.
did you get all of those degrees in the time it took to do 6 interviews? Automotive Mastermind, 6 interviews.
So the crazy thing with Automotive Mastermind was, this is my space. My space. And my LinkedIn was blowing up. Cox Automotive went through several transition periods. Through one of those transition periods, I wasn't with Cox Automotive. And LinkedIn was blowing up, Carfax, Car Gurus, Cars.com. I'm in Northern Virginia now. Who wouldn't want somebody with tenured experience on the corporate side in this just geographical
right there in that
market,
area, just slam-packed market, right?
So Automotive Mastermind recruiter kept hitting me up, and I'm like, listen, this is my space. I have never heard of you a day in my life, and I pride myself with being an industry expert here. Like, do you sing? Do you dance? What do you do? So that is how I first got introduced to Automotive Mastermind. Was I had a demo, like, pretend I'm your client and give me a demo of your services.
Have you ever had a moment, because like you started with, you got in the same way all of us did, which is, it was not our plan A. Do you find yourself, and maybe I'm exposed, this is my one thing that I'm sharing that nobody, but like sometimes I'll just be like driving and I'll be like, I never thought I would work in the car business, let alone for 30, 20 years. Like, we're in it. This is it. Do you ever have moments like that where you're like, oh, dang, I guess my career is in automotive?
Not anymore. The alternative. So where I grew up, low income area, your biggest income is, Tyson's or Purdue chicken processing plants. You've got NASA, you've got school teachers, you have a hospital, you're a nurse. So looking at the options, going to a bank with a business degree, somebody tells you what you're worth. Congratulations. This is going to be your chair perpetually, 45 hours a week, your only chair. You get a 5-minute, smoke break or water cooler gossip. And we think you're worth approximately $50,000 plus your cost of living. I can't imagine a world where that exists. I can't. Gosh, that actually hurts my heart to think that people live in environments like that. They're told what they're worth.
That's not what you're worth. It's what you're worth to them.
To them.
It's what you're worth to them.
I think that's the big qualifier.
Which one stings more?
It's true.
Yeah. Which one stings more? It is interesting that, especially in this industry, for a large portion of the industry, right? The the portion of the industry that's been in fixed or variable ops, or has some sort of sales background, or has started something, you have the opportunity to kind of make your own way. And I think it's a really attractive part of our industry. There is, Paul says a lot of times, like, there's no ceiling, but there's also no floor. Like, the ground floor is the ground floor for getting in the industry, and there's no ceiling. Like, you can excel to the nth degree. You look at so many people that, similar stories where it's like, low income neighborhood owns 53 dealerships, right? And that's like riddled through our industry. It's not like these one-off cases. It's like all over the place, right? Immigrant owns dealerships. All of those types of things come to play. So I love the story of that. So I want to know, when you took that demo of Automotive Mastermind, since it was kind of like I don't know, who you are, what you're doing. What was the point where you were like, this is something I'm interested in? Was there like a trigger about the product or the person that you were talking to or anything like that kind of led you to go, this is different?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Firstly, it's the data, the power that they have. So you've got this German owners coming to the United States, working for Mercedes-Benz, and saying, this can't be the only way that we can keep our loyalty database. You fast forward to this garage idea, this crazy garage startup idea, into what it became under IHS. You fast forward even further to now what it is under S&P. So from a data perspective, number one, the passion these people had to say, I think there's a better way of doing things, and to run with it, to have the courage. Oh my gosh, the courage it takes to have a crazy idea that could shake up the industry, and it did. To have the courage to take a U-Haul van to Las Vegas.
Tell us more about that story real quick. What does that actually mean? Take a U-Haul to Las Vegas.
The first NADA that our owners participated in, it's year number one. You're a garage startup company. You've got a little bit of financial backing, from Mercedes or what have you, however that came to be. They're literally driving a U-Haul cross country to set up for the first NADA with, not much money, not much of a client, not much of a history, and trying to play with the big dogs. The courage.
That's cool.
That is OG.
That's how we started.
That's super OG. Like, throw it in the back of the U-Haul. We'll do it ourselves. Don't hire anyone.
It just blew me away. Everybody cared about your success. And when you're working at a car dealership, that's very hard to find. When you're sitting in retail, it's hard to find managers that believe in you or help push you to what your best person could look like. They see something in you you don't see yourselves. At this company, the ego gets set completely aside, and it doesn't matter who you are in this company. You can be the IT folks, you can be our product team, you can be in the office in India or the office in Poland, Canada, doesn't matter. There's somebody here to lift you up if you ever trip and fall. And I felt that throughout the entire presentation. And I'm a dork. And I like the data side. I like to tell stories. And this company, I'm in dealerships almost every single day, and now working in the Northeast region with dealer groups. And I get to look at the big picture from a data perspective and roll up my sleeve and make real recommendations on spending money or driving success. And doing things as small as, looking at a 10-car salesperson over at BMW of Sterling, working with them one-on-one because they weren't getting the help from the managers. They just swallowed in the crowd of what a large organization looks like, and doing weekly one-to-ones with a salesperson. And now she's selling an average of 30 cars a month, or taking a receptionist at an Audi store. And she knew she could be more than a receptionist. Well, with Automotive Mastermind, I can take my time and grow that person to her career where she is today. And it's no other company gives you that bandwidth. Not any company that I know.
It sounds like you're really into the people side of the business, right? Like, everything you've said kind of from the beginning ties back to the fact, even from your own story, that you're able to help people move forward, and even like help dealers help other people. It sounds like that's at the center. So I feel like you need one of these shirts.
I might have one of those shirts as a college pants.
Yes.
But I'm representing Automotive Mastermind today. So
this represents all of us.
This is all of us.
Yeah,
that's right.
Can I ask, just out of curiosity?
such an awful reputation. But I mean, one of my buddies, I don't know if you could see it, but
What's it
he's
say?
got
Fuel and Faith?
Fuel and Faith, an automotive ministry. He's sitting at a car dealership and working through an automotive ministry to help the community, building backpacks for schools, for underprivileged school systems. And I mean, what an industry.
We agree. Michael, you're going to ask a question.
Preaching the choir.
I don't want to ask it anymore.
After that one?
Yeah. How do you top that? That's amazing. No, this is good.
I tend to get on a soapbox, and sometimes I snap and point. So
no, I like
as long as you wag the finger.
So what exactly is that? Is that company doing? You said it was which org is backing it?
So it's one of my friends that works over for a Lithia store, BMW store in my backyard. It's actually the larger group is with Lithia. And the whole vision he has is just bringing faith into this environment where, people would rather get a root canal than go buy a car. I mean, we all know that. We've known it for years, but just putting a humanizing spin on this industry and collaborating with like-minded people and just showing them that there's a better way to be a human. There's a better way to have life. And, they schedule auto rallies to raise money to do trunk or treat and provide back to the community.
What do you mean an auto rally? What's an auto rally?
So imagine like-minded people that like cars, right? So let's start there.
Car people.
And maybe they like to drive fast. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Like, just depends on the kind of rally we're going for. But they actually schedule different, I don't know. Like, there's different kinds. Like, maybe there's a classic club. Maybe there's a Porsche club. But they go, essentially collecting people, like drive through the different areas of communities, picking up school supplies, donation supplies was most recently. And then, holing up in a parking lot somewhere and stuffing the backpacks together, praying together, and giving them back to the community.
I mean,
yeah,
these always go in a direction I didn't expect. These conversations.
Great.
What a day.
So I know. So obviously we talk a lot about the people side of the business. We're all big advocates of the community involvement, the focus on people. And we want to highlight that as much as we can. Let's get practical for a second. You get the opportunity to see a lot of data. And I think that's one advantage that a lot of our industry partners have is that individual dealer might be limited to their own store, their group, their 20 group, right? Kind of a smaller circle. However, a lot of times industry partners get to be in dozens or see things that are happening in hundreds of stores. So you're kind of in that seat. What do you feel like is one of the biggest opportunities that dealers might not be taking full advantage of, no matter what type of dealer they are?
No, that's a great question. And I mean, I'm working on one right now, actually, is a portfolio analysis, which seems very simple when you speak of it. But when you're looking to retire, you have a financial advisor, and that advisor makes suggestions on your entire portfolio. Well, as car dealers, sometimes we get stuck and we can't see the forest through the trees, and we forget about all of the resources around us and about industry professionals that work for the organizations that they're paying for, the Carfaxes of the world, the automotive masterminds, their OEM reps, etc. So the biggest pain point that I'm seeing where this becomes a helpful solution is, I'm spending the same or more money than I was last year, 2 years, 2 months, 6 months, what have you, past point. Mm-hmm. My sales aren't getting any better. So, my ROI is going down. My new car floor plan is expensive, right? So it's all the same. We're spending more money. We're seeing less results. Why? Or what do I do? And from an analysis perspective, just something as simple as, pulling CRM reports to look at your lead sources. So as an example, this dealership that I'm working with now, I'm actually putting together meeting information. When we looked at as proactive, which is AutomotiveMastermind, versus as reactive spend, right? So you've got Carfax, you have Car Gurus. This dealer uses Auto Trader, and this dealer also uses Cars.com. So those 4 sources. So your pain point is new car inventory, new car floor plan, not selling as many cars. But when we do an analysis of the leads that are coming into your system for $20,000 a month or $25,000 a month, which is what the spend is on this bucket of reactive customers, 85% of the leads that get entered are pre-owned leads. You're not solving the new car problem, right? So something as simple as that. Another thing from a data perspective is census. I'm a dork. genealogy, historical research. I look at census forms back to the early 1800s. This particular dealer, new car problem, new car floor plan cost. He's heavy in Tundras, Sequoias, the big money. It's a Toyota store, the big money. But looking at a census information, his largest county in his DMA, firstly, the average age, the median age is 40, and the median household income is 88,000. So any 40-year-old I would know would love these cars, but based off of the median income of what you're servicing, they can't afford these cars.
They can't buy
the
it.
wrong inventory.
Right?
Yeah.
Either stocking the wrong inventory for the DMA or have to start marketing outside of the DMA in order to get those vehicles sold.
Yeah,
Right.
so fine. We need to find more expensive, higher hitting zip codes where now we can maybe do a social media conquest campaign, right? Digital audience conquest campaign to different zip codes to get rid of the heaviest things that are eating up your floor plan costs.
Mm-hmm.
Stellar. That right there, that's a nugget. Like, I think anybody can take away from, like, that is when Paul said get practical. It's like, look at your inventory, look at the target market audience. Like, where are you located? Does that inventory fit the market audience? Can you sell that inventory to them? If yes, press in. If not, go elsewhere. Also restock based on known DMAs. Like, massive insight right there. Susanna, I just want to say, like, we went on a journey we didn't even think we were going to go on during this 20 minutes. Found out that you actually were destined for auto because you were at an auction way earlier than maybe anybody else in the auto industry has been in. But we really appreciate you joining us today, giving us a little insight, giving us a little fun, laughing a little bit. Thanks for joining us on Auto.
No problem. Thank you guys so much for the invite.
Okay, coming out of the episode, Kyle, what is the first word that comes to your mind?
Data? I don't know.
Which reminds Michael.
Word that comes
Which
to my
reminds.
mind. Like, what are you thinking about right now? Data.
Fast websites. I always joke that like fast websites and data, like it's the meme where the guy's holding hands with his girlfriend and he looks back and he's looking at the other girl. It's like for Kyle, it's like data. It's fast websites.
I mean, like,
so bad.
Tell me, tell me there wasn't just all sorts of validation about what brought us all together, what brings the ASOTU verse all together. It's like none of our first words after being born were sell cars. Like, this was not our plan A, but what keeps her here and what keeps us here is, I mean, she went on to share all these cool examples about how people in our industry go from nothing, acquire something, then use that something as a vehicle to bless others' lives.
Yes.
And I think that's the whole reason why all of us are in this industry. Why what holds us in?
All of us three, absolutely yes. The people who wear these love people more than you love car shirts, yes. And I think we're flushing out from the corners of the industry all these people who are doing this already every day. It's not even like, I wish I could say that like what we're doing is inspiring the majority of people to do it, but really what it's doing is drawing people into the center. People who are already doing it.
It's like it's everybody's been doing it without like the recognition or without the understanding that the others are out there, right? That there's so many times we run into people and it's like, wait, so you're telling me that they also those people and also them? That's amazing. I thought I was out here on an island trying this thing. And I think that it's this beacon that says like, and you know what's crazy? Paul, you and I talk about this all the time, and we're gonna run on this ending for a minute because I'm pumped. But we go through every airport. You wear that shirt, and it's like 6, 7, 8 people look at you, and they just they either like nod and they're like, yeah. And this is a universal thing that I think people have to get called out into and be called to say, look, you can like experience this in a network of people that believe the same thing. Mm-hmm. And that's what Auto Collabs, that's what More Than Cars, that's what ASOTU Con, that's what being around these other events, that's what all of the people that we're trying to call together, including Suzanne, are saying like, oh, no. We're all the others. and we've found each other now.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Oh man, there's no better way to end that. I think that's it. We're all fired up, pumped, ready to run through a wall. On behalf of Kyle Mountsier, Michael Cirillo, and myself, and his singing ability, and his ability to bring today's guests and topics into a classic song by the band Toto, thank you for listening to Auto Collabs. Welcome to Auto Collabs.
Why are we recording?
Are we rolling yet?